Well, hello guys. I'm Nautica Phantasma on Tumblr. I also have a cosplay blog, Nautica Phantasma Cosplay, and a side blog, a character pile. Today I'm doing a video tutorial on how to style a Lewis wig. Basically this came up because lots of people have been asking me how did I style my Lewis cosplay wig. It's falling apart because I've been wearing it for a while. I need to brush it up a bit, but basically here is how it looks. I'll be showing you how to do this, but with my human Lewis wig. Alright, it's for human Lewis cosplay as well as ghost Lewis. They basically have the same hairstyle. So, let's see. What I'm doing is I'm basically using PVC pipe as my head. It's best if you use an actual like foam head or something. I'm using this because I already had this laying around. For me it was easier to get a PVC pipe than a foam head. So I'm gonna put my wig, my finished Lewis wig, over here. Alright, so first off, this wig is Inigo. It's the Inigo wig from Arda Wigs. You can follow the link below in the descriptions. The Inigo wig, it's a medium-sized wig, and I got the classic. Alright, I usually don't get silky, one because they cost more, and two, the classic wigs are amazing. So I don't have much use for a silky wig. Silky wigs are great from Arda. They have more shine to them. They are more luscious. They're like more deluxe. But I usually work with the classic ones. Alright, so this is Inigo wig. Of course, right out of the package, it's kind of flat. What you're going to do is you're going to use a rat-tailed comb this whole entire time. You're going to use a rat-tail comb, and you're basically just going to comb it out. Alright? Comb it out. Get it to look less flat, less lifeless. Give the wig a little bit of life. Comb out some tangles. If you hit a tangle in here, don't yank on the wig. You're going to yank out hairs from the wig. If you hit a really bad tangle, comb from the bottom of the wig and work your way up. Alright, I usually just like go from the top to the bottom just to find where the tangles are, and then once I hit the tangles I like really start to go from bottom to the top. But otherwise, yeah, if you're just starting out with styling wigs, I advise you to start from the bottom to the top until you get like that experience with working with wigs and hair, where you know just how hard you can tug on a wig before hair starts falling out. One thing I like about Arda Wigs is that Arda Wigs are very durable. Like, you can tug on these things and minimal hair will fall out. Usually on cheaper wigs, lesser quality wigs, the hair falls out very easily, and I really don't like that. Alright, so yeah, just give it a quick run through with the comb. You'll start to see a little bit of a difference. It's more flowy, more silky and stuff like that. Alright, so there's the Inigo in Magenta. After you comb it out, basically what you're going to do is you're going to try and separate the bangs from the longer strands of hair. Alright, you don't have to separate them completely, but at least get a good chunk of the bangs, separated. Why will you need to do this? Because you're going to be teasing the hair to get that little poof that Lewis has. You're going to be teasing different sections of the hair to really get it to build up to that. Now, I'd suggest getting actual hair clips, you know, like the professional hair clips. I don't have money for those hair clips because I spend all my money on actual cosplays rather than hair clips. But if you have them, use them. I'm using like little beret pins. These work as well. A little bit harder to work with, but these work as well. Yeah, just use whatever you have on hand. I'm not telling you to like go buy out a store or anything. If you don't have those clips, then that's fine too. Just, you know, as long as you can partition the hair in any way you can, it's a good thing. Alright, so after that, basically what you're going to do is you're going to take, where is it, your comb, and what you're going to do is you're going to start from about right here. Right here, you're going to try and separate that. Alright, now right here it's about 2 inches away from the bangs. I'd say about 2 inches. 2 to 3 inches away from the bangs. You're going to separate this from the other piece of hair. Alright. You're going to do the same thing to the other side. Make sure they're about even, right? Even if you have to like look at it from the front, make sure they're about even. You know, you don't want like an uneven hairstyle when you're wearing this. I'm sorry I don't have like professional studio in back, you know. Yeah, this is like my cosplay corner. What you're going to do after you separate these little bits is you're going to take the rat tail of your rat-tailed comb, you know, the long part, the handle, and you're going to basically take away about a third. Not a third, less than a third. You're going to take away about, yeah, I'd say about like a third of the hair. What you're going to want to do is take away the hair, but don't try. Alright, let me explain this a little bit better. Sorry, I have like trouble explaining things. When you lift up the hairs of your wig, you're going to notice, let me get that on the white, you're going to notice that basically a wig is made out of wefts. Wefts are strands of hair that you can sew together to make a wig, or you can sew onto a wig to make it, you know, thicker and stuff. These wefts are sewn in rows, and these rows are attached using elastic. What you don't want is, you don't want to have like your wig showing off that elastic. A rule of cosplaying is most cosplayers like to have like a realistic look. I know I do. So when you're partitioning the hair, when you do this, be very careful, alright? What I do is I take a good chunk of the hair, I just play around with it, alright? I play around with it, you know. It takes some time to kind of get the right look, but once I get the right look, yeah. This might take a while, guys. Alright, I'm gonna skip y'all ahead, okay? Okay, so I am back. I finished parting the hair. Takes a while to part the hair. But basically, what you're trying to do is you're trying to part the hair, and I'm doing this without wefts. On my other wig, I used wefts to basically make the part. They're like horribly hidden. Yeah, I just sewed on the wefts to keep the hair forward and to also hide that band. So this is with wefts. You're basically going to do the same thing except less of a messy hairline. I'm not doing it on the Lewis cosplay one because I couldn't afford like another set of wefts. I could only afford them in one color. And I'm gonna do like Ghost Lewis more than I am gonna do Alive Lewis. And two, I want Alive Lewis to have more of that natural look. Basically like if he parted it himself. This is actually a real technique that's used by some hairstylists where they grab the hair and I'm gonna do it with my own hair. Where they grab the hair and they have the rat-tailed comb, and they basically just draw a zigzag through the hair to get it to part like that. Yeah, right now it looks like a mess. That's how that one looked before I did what I did on it. So what you're going to do is you're going to make sure that all pieces of the wig are firmly like clipped away. You don't want like the pieces like falling off and then you're like losing your part while you're styling. That's horrible. Yeah, double clip them if you have to, you know. Don't want anything falling away from what you have. And what I do, I usually, for this, the way Lewis's hair is, I'm going to start teasing from the front. I'm going to start with the bangs, alright? So, make sure your wig is fairly even, the way it sits on the headpiece. You're going to get to the styling part now. So take away the clips and you're going to get your hairspray. The hairspray I'm using is something I found at the, what is it, Dollar General? I found it at the department store. This is Tresemme. Trust 2 Hairspray, Extra Hold, Category 4. Don't know if y'all can see that. But that's the kind of hairspray I'm using. It's extra firm control, and I use this because it works. Especially for conventions, alright? Works really well. You always want the extra hold for conventions, especially in Texas. Right now we're in Texas. Right now it's like Satan's armpit. It's hot and humid, it's sweaty, it stinks. You need that extra hold for any sort of hair, whether it be synthetic or real. So what you're going to do is you're basically going to rat the hair. Rat it, tease it. People say, you know, different things. It's the same technique, alright? More or less the same technique. So again, you're going to comb out the bangs, you know. You want it nice and nice before you make it not so nice. And you're basically just going to hold up the bangs like this. Alright, and you're going to do this with all pieces of hair. Almost all pieces of hair. So what you're going to do is you're going to spray it. Get it nice and down. And you're basically going to take your comb and comb downwards. What you're doing is you're adding volume to the hair of course you're like tangling it and stuff. That's the whole idea. Why I'm doing this to the bangs first rather than the back is just that way, one, the bangs will be out of the way, because these aren't the bangs that are going to be used. The bangs on the wig are actually from the back. I pull the hair forward. And also so that way it has a little bit of, height to it. These bangs are more like a structure piece than anything else. So this is ratting the hair. Basically it's going to work more like a cushion for the rest of the hair rather than an actual like aesthetic part of the wig. So what you're going to do now is you're going to grab your other pieces of the wig, the parts that you sectioned off before. You're going to comb them out, get all tangles out, especially on the bottom, because this is going to eventually be the top of the wig, or the top of the hair. So comb out the bottom. What now is the bottom will be the top. Alright, so basically what you're going to do is you're going to be combing everything forward. Alright, it's sort of like a comb over, sort of. It's a really weird, you're doing a backwards pompadour more or less. Yeah, what Lewis has isn't really a pompadour because it has like these bangs. It's a really weird hairstyle, but it works for him. So what you're going to do is like resection the hair. Alright, so you're going to take away a good chunk of the hair and leave that for the front. This part, I know I only have like 2 hands. This part will be the back of the hair. So you're going to clip that as best you can. Alright, so now you have this part. So you're going to split this little piece of beauty in half, more or less. If you need to, make the foremost one smaller. Alright, so you're going to split it into 3 sections by how close they are to the front of the wig. This front part is basically going to set the standards for the rest of the wig. It's going to be basically the structure, the front and middle part. The back part, it's going to be more looks than anything else. So what you're going to do is you're going to tease it, but you're going to basically lay it over the front of the wig. So you're going to make this like little bubble of air in the wig. Usually other cosplayers use like foam inside the bubble. I don't. I've never worked with foam in a wig. I've been cosplaying for about 5 to 6 years. Never once used foam in a wig. I like to have just the wig by itself. It's just like my personal thing, but if you want to use foam filler in your wig, by all means go ahead, but this is more my style. Alright, so you got it combed out and everything. You got it combed out and everything. You got it all nice and neat. So then you're going to do what you did for the bangs. Alright, you're going to spray it nice and evenly, and you're going to start teasing. Alright, this first piece of hair, it's alright if it doesn't look alright. The main part is at least getting the structure, the basic shape of the wig down for this first part. You want the basic shape of the wig. Alright, so here I want that pompadour sort of shape. I want it lower back here, you know, still with some volume, but lower back here and more round in front. Alright, so I'm going to try and mess with this a little bit. Basically get that whole Lewis shape of the hair. Once I've got that down, I can spray it again. I'd prefer use better, more hairspray than not enough. Especially at this stage of the hair. So make sure it's nice and sturdy. Alright, so you got the main, at least, shape of the hair. Alright, so now you're going to work with the middle section. Alright, the middle section is going to be, it's going to basically set groundwork for the last section of hair. Alright, so you want the middle section nice and cleaned out, you know, comb it out and everything. You're going to spray it again. You're going to lay it over. You're basically going to use the middle section to help you form that little pompadour look. Alright? You're not really going to tease it unless you absolutely have to get that sort of look. Alright, so also here is where you're going to start directing the hair. Alright, so for me, I want the hair, I want the front bangs to basically go this way. I'm going to spray down my thing, and I'm basically going to start directioning the bangs to go this way. Alright, so this last part is basically what's going to cover this, all of this. You're going to do this last part very carefully. Alright, so you're going to use this last bit of hair to cover all of this. Make it look very nice and neat, very prim and proper. Very lovely. Alright. If this isn't placed down well, then you're going to have to fix it. So what you're going to do is you have your hair like that. I know my wig keeps on moving around. You're going to lay it over, okay? And this you don't really have to hairspray down until you know, like until you seriously know that this is how you want your hair you want your wig to look. Alright, so this is like the hardest part, is basically like styling the hair. Hardest and funnest part, trust me. So, you know, basically comb the hair around, see how you like how it looks. You know, get that sort of look into there. Hardest thing is to keep the hair without spraying it, keeping it on top of the wig, without it like having to fall to the sides. That's like the hardest part, is keeping this section of hair on top rather than like wilting to the side. Alright, so once you kind of figured out like where you want the hair to go, you can more or less pull it back if you need to. If you can't, you know, leave it there, but if you can still like figure out which strands are part of your third section and which ones are not, pull it back, comb it out one last time, because once it's in its shape, it's in its shape. It's either that or redo the whole entire thing all over again. This holds true with me too, because even professionals can mess up sometimes. With 6+ years of cosplaying, I can tell you one thing for certain, is lots of those costumes were made more than once. Alright, so really comb it out. I mean, this is the top part. This is the part that everyone will see. You really want this part to look really nice. Alright. Alright. So you're gonna start laying it down. As you lay it down, spray it. Alright, because this is really important that it stays where it's at. You know? Spray it so that way it stays, more or less. I know the wig is like it's not sitting evenly on the wig stand, I know. This is how I work. Again, this is more just working the wig. Trust me, it took hours to do the other wig, so sorry if I'm keeping y'all guys. But yeah, wig styling is something where you need a little bit of time. A little bit of time, a little bit of money. Depends on the style and costs of the wig. It's basically just getting ready to cut it. Obviously this is way too long of a hairstyle for Lewis. Comparing it to my other wig. Basically just cut it around a bob type length. As far as I went with cutting it, I went according to where the wig cap is. Obviously I don't have it on my head and I cannot cut hair on my head. That is a fact. So, what I used was the wig cap, part of the wig, as guidance for my cutting. Now, remember, yeah, the clip fell off. Remember that section of hair I basically sectioned off earlier? That I'm going to keep, longer. Those I'm going to use as sideburns later on. So, what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to take small pieces of hair. Alright, small pieces of hair. And it's better to cut longer than shorter, because you can always cut shorter, you can't cut longer. I'm using, I can't find my hair scissors. Yes, I'm using safety scissors. These are the only scissors within the house. Why? Because everyone keeps on stealing my special scissors. Make sure you have your scissors locked up, kids. So, what you're going to do is you're basically going to cut like this. Alright, you're going to cut into the hair doing this sort of motion. Alright, and what you're doing is you're making sort of like a natural cut. Don't cut straight across, because then it'll look too, I don't know, too generic. Alright, so basically this is what you're doing. You're making this cut that looks like naturally grown hair, okay? You want that natural sort of look, especially if you're gonna be wearing this like for like super good photos and stuff. If that's the look you're going for, then you know that's how you want to cut it. Alright, you're just basically, you're doing this motion while doing sort of like a circular motion on the hair. Only cutting as little as possible every time you come around to cut. Alright? It's an actual technique. Barbers, hairstylists, they use this technique. It's sort of exactly like how to tease hair. It's the same motion as when you're teasing the hair with a comb, but instead you're cutting through it with scissors. Alright, and I'm saving the leftover pieces of hair so I can like patch this up later on. That's what I did on this one. Alright, so you're just basically going to continue cutting around it. Any long strands that you didn't get, cut them off as well. As you get near to the back center, as you get closer to the back center, you want to start making the tufts of hair longer. You want to make your cut a little bit longer. You want to like start heading downwards with your cut. Why? Because this usually the back of the head has a little bit more hair than the front of the head. Alright, what you're trying to do is basically like frame your whole entire head. Alright, you want the back to be longer. You want the front to be shorter so that way it can have that Lewis look. Alright, so this is basically what you're going to be getting as far as hairstyle is concerned. Alright, on the sides and stuff, you might want to like spray that down too. And what you can do is, here's where I say cut it longer in the back. What you're going to do is you're going to hairspray this and basically like make that little curl he has in the back of his head. You're going to do that little flip thing he has in the back of his head with that extra long pieces of hair. Alright, if this is like your first time cutting a wig, I suggest you take this really slowly. I'm only doing this quickly because this isn't my first time cutting a wig. I've done, I've cut wigs, I've actually cut human hair. I can cut other people's hair, just not my own. So I have a few years under my belt of this. if this is your first time or you're still beginner or a little intermediate, I suggest like taking it real slow. I remember the first time I cut a wig, I had a heart attack. I had like a mini heart attack because I was like, oh no, if I cut this wrong, it's gonna be ruined. But nah, you really get like used to the fact that you're cutting hair, that you're cutting a wig. You kind of get used to it, you get a hang of it, sort of. I don't know. After a while, you get the hang of it. So, it's always good to, when you're cutting the wig, it's always good to look over here on the other side of the wig. Make sure you're doing it, like, properly. So again, that's basically the natural cut. I'm getting like hair shavings all over my legs. Alright, so here is a more Lewis style wig. Again, once you get this on your head, you can like smooth it out and stuff and like do that little thing he has in the back. These little pieces, I suggest you don't cut these pieces until you have them on your head and a mirror in front of you, and basically you can start styling it. What I would do is get like little strands, you know, play around with it, you know, basically experiment with the whole sideburn sort of thing. As far as this tutorial is concerned, it's more or less over. That's how I styled the other wig, roughly. Yeah, basically how I styled it. I cut the ghost hair a bit shorter, mainly because my hair is not going to be showing in the ghost wig because I'm going to be wearing a morph suit underneath, so I felt it would be better to have it shorter and the morph suit, so it's easier to take off and on for me. A few more cosplay hints. I know people who are beginners, you know, watching this tutorial. You're gonna hear people say, oh, you can use lots of people say this. You can use the net that you got with your wig. You know, remember I took this off at the beginning of the show? You can use this as a hairnet for your wig. It doesn't work that well. If you're going to a con and you're going to be wearing a wig for a whole entire day, and you're going to be moving around and probably sweating in it and like lots of stuff, I suggest not using this. I suggest either getting a wig cap or a weave cap, or both. It's a really good investment. You're going to be using it a lot. Alright. A wig cap is basically this. It's just a cap. Alright. It has the elastic band down here. It has a netting, and it's closed off on the top. A weave cap, they're two different things. A weave cap has the elastic band. Alright, has the elastic band, but it's not, you know, it's like a sleeve. Alright, to put on a weave cap, basically, I suggest a weave cap is a little bit easier than a wig cap, because a wig cap, I had trouble with a wig cap the first year I started cosplaying. First year I had like such trouble with it. Why? Because I have like thick hair. I have like thick hair. It's hard to put in a wig cap. So weave cap, you basically just put it on like this. Alright, sort of like a headband, and you just pull up and over. I feel this is easier to put on than anything else. Put this on. To put on the wig, I'm gonna probably mess this up. Basically put on the back before the front. Alright, I'm using a mirror I have over there. I can't really see what I'm doing. But basically, yeah. Like me, if I was going to convention, I would put on both the weave cap and the wig cap. Just because, you know, I'd like that extra hold. This is basically how the wig looks on me. Once you have the wig on, you can do as you please to it. You can like modify it a bit more. Right now I'm basically gonna start on the sideburns. Try and get the sideburns to look fairly decent on my face. It's basically it for Lewis cosplay, for a Lewis wig. For more tutorials, just stay tuned. I'm probably gonna do more tutorials. Next up will probably be, let's see, what's my next cosplay? Next up will probably be just shenanigans at a bowling alley in about a week. There's cosplay bowling here, here in San Antonio. And my friends and I are just going to be the Boneheads gang. Mainly, I as Lewis, one of my friends as Sans, and another one of my friends as Masquerade Marco. We're going to be doing lots of stuff at the bowling alley, so stay tuned. Look me up, Nautica Phantasma, and Tumblr, Nautica Phantasma Cosplays, and Character Pile. Also, go Arda Wigs.